Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss about vacuum gauges. What is a vacuum gauge? A vacuum gauge is a pressure gauge used to measure pressures lower than the ambient atmospheric pressure, which is set as the 0 point in negative values. How does a vacuum gauge work? This vacuum gauge contains a hermetically sealed evacuated thin-walled diaphragm capsule which is located within the instruments. As the vacuum pressure reduces, the capsule bulges. This movement is transferred by a system of levers to a pointer and can then be read off as the pressure on a linear scale. How is vacuum measured? The common metric unit for vacuum measurement is the millibar or mbar. Other pressure units sometimes used to express vacuum include the interrelated units of atmospheres, torr, and microns. 1 standard atmosphere equals 14.7 psi or 29.92 in atmospheric pressure is measured with a barometer. Next we are going to discuss about the vacuum gauges. We have two different vacuum gauges. First one is direct reading vacuum gauges. Example of such a type of vacuum gauge is liquid column manometer. Next is indirect reading gauges, Pirani gauge, thermocouple gauge, pending gauge, that means cold cathode ionization gauge, and hot filament ionization gauge. These are the operating ranges of gauge. You can see here we have a different type of vacuum pumps. Previous classes we have studied about the rough vacuum, high vacuum and ultra high vacuum conditions. In these conditions we can see here it is Borden gauge for vacuum, rough vacuum, then capacitance manometer. The vacuum range is 10 raised to minus 4 to up to 10 raised to minus 6. Also the thermocouple gauge is up to 10 raised to minus 4. Then we can move to the Pirani gauge, is also in the range of 10 raised to minus 4. Also hot filament ion gauge and cold cathode gauge, residual gas analyzer, McLeod gauge and spinning rotor gauge. From this graph we can see the range of gauges that we are using different vacuum pumps. These are some conditions of gauges. Actually gauges measure the pressure in vacuum pumps. Okay, thank you all.